Hi guys, it's Jeffrey and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I wanted to share with you guys 3 different smoothie bowl recipes that I've been using. These bowls are perfect to eat for breakfast, especially in the summertime. I'm super thankful for the nice weather we've been having in Seattle lately, so it's inspired me to create some yummy bowls to eat. The 3 bowls I have vary in their flavoring, one being an acai bowl, kind of a classic acai smoothie bowl with varying fruit toppings. The second bowl is a tropical dragon fruit bowl that's more tart. My final bowl is a strawberry banana bowl with peanut butter and oats. If you want to jump to any of the recipes, there's timestamps in the description box down below. First, I want to chat about my ingredients that I use in the smoothies, but if you are here primarily just for the recipes, you can use the description box and jump to the exact time that I start talking about that recipe. To start off, I wanted to show you the acai that I use. I use the unsweetened organic acai puree packets from Trader Joe's. I was looking online and they don't sell acai berries in store because they have such a small shelf life they can't even transport them to the US without them going bad. So they usually only sell frozen items. This puree has no added sugar. So the only ingredients are organic acai puree, which is water and organic acai, citric acid, probably like preserve it. Each one of these comes with 4 packets of the puree inside. So that's enough for 4 different bowls or 4 different smoothie items. And each of these packs of 4 costs about $3 or $4, which honestly is not bad, especially if you think about getting an acai bowl somewhere else. Like you might be spending like $20 on a bowl. So $4 is not bad because then that's like $1 per bowl. The packets look like this, and there is a trick to opening the packets. The instructions say to run it under hot water and to like wait a little bit until it starts melting, but I don't like to do that. I want the things I'm using in my smoothie to be super frozen. So I just take this and I just bend it really hard and snap it in half, and then I can pull out the halves out of the shrink wrap. I wish that these were less wasteful and didn't use a lot of plastic, but that's just kind of how it is. One of the other frozen fruits that I use are these mixed berries from Trader Joe's, and what I like about it is you can separate, so you can just pull blueberries or raspberries or blackberries out, whatever you want for your personalized recipe. I also got the mixed fruit blend from Target. This has pineapple chunks, sliced strawberries, mango chunks, and sliced peaches. Again, you can pull out, like if you want to make a strawberry banana smoothie, I just pull the strawberries out of here. If I want to make something really tropical, maybe I'm just using the mango and the peaches and the pineapple. I also got the dragon fruit chunks. I do think the pink is a little bit sweeter than the white dragon fruit, and the pink just makes a beautiful color for the bowls. The other ingredient that I put in bowls a lot is yogurt, and I think this really helps the texture. It really helps the bowls be thick. In order to achieve thick texture, you need a lot of frozen fruit and you need yogurt. I really find that helps the bowls be thick. I use Greek non-fat yogurt, plain, no flavoring added, no sugar added. It's really high in protein, 17 grams of protein per 3/4 cup. Depending on the bowl, I either use orange juice or milk as the liquid inside. Orange juice for the more tart and sour bowls. I use milk with bowls I want to be creamier. For some of my smoothies, I put peanut butter inside the blend. Sometimes I like to top it with peanut butter. It just depends on the mood, but you can do either or both. I don't want the peanut butter to be overpowering sometimes, so I will just blend it in, but I will be careful not to use too much. But if you want your protein to be higher, you might want to add more, and depending on how much you like the peanut butter flavor. I was reading some recipes on Pinterest, and a secret ingredient I found that I wanted to add to my own recipes is vanilla extract. It really helps the bowl have more flavor. It gives a really sweet little aftertaste. So I started using this recently in my bowls. These 2 things I use to up the natural protein, chia seeds and hemp seeds. Sometimes I put these as a topping to add some extra crunch, and sometimes I blend these into the smoothie blend. It's really just up to your personal preference. Here are the 2 types of granola I use. This Purely Elizabeth granola uses coconut sugar instead of cane sugar, so I kind of like that for something different. This peanut butter protein granola from Trader Joe's is very good. It does have 8 grams of added sugar per serving though. There's a lot of different granolas out there, so I might even try granola that's not either of these kind. Definitely experiment. Definitely, if you have a granola suggestion, comment it down below to me because I would love to try new granola. A really fun hack with granola is to put some at the bottom of your bowl and drizzle with agave nectar or honey just to add some sweet underneath your bowl so that when you get to the bottom, you still get that crunch and that sweetness. I like to do this because sometimes it's hard to put all these toppings on top and like mix it together, and it's nice to have some of the toppings of your bowl at the bottom. I got this light agave nectar from Target. I like it. It's a little bit more flowy than honey, and it drizzles on top really nice and just provides a different sweetness than honey does. I really like it. I'm going to continue to use it. The local smoothie bowl place uses it. That's why I wanted to pick this up and try it on my bowls. The last topping that I have are these cacao nibs. If you don't know what cacao nibs are, they are just like little pieces of unsweetened chocolate. If you eat them alone, they taste very bitter. When they're sprinkled on top of your smoothie bowl, they pull in sweetness from the fruit and from the nectar that you might drizzle it with, and they give a really good chocolatey flavor. I like it because instead of just adding chocolate chips, which have added sugar, it's just using the chocolate and then using that other sweetness in your bowl to have a really sweet chocolatey flavor, and it's not overpowering. I definitely recommend these if you want a little extra crunch and you want to feel fancy. I found these at Target, but you can also order online, and you can probably find them at different grocery stores, but it just depends. At Target, they were like in a really weird shelf underneath the produce, really low to the ground, so it took me like forever to find it, but once I did, best investment. Here's my first recipe. It's a classic acai bowl. You can pause the video here and screenshot if you'd like to save the recipe to your camera roll. I have my acai puree packet that I'm just bending and pulling out of the shrink wrap. It's a little bit tricky to get out of the package, and it kind of gets my hands a little bit dirty, but a small price to pay for some good acai. Next, I add a frozen banana. Then I'm picking some blueberries out of this mixed berry bag from Trader Joe's. I like to get a mixed bag of berries and then just switch up the different kinds that I use in each bowl. Next, I'm using my Greek non-fat yogurt plain, and I always give this a little stir because the liquid kind of separates from the yogurt. I do 2 heaping spoonfuls and I bang them on the side of my smoothie cup to make sure all the yogurt gets in. Next, I added peanut butter, and for this bowl I did 2 spoonfuls, and again I had to bang them against the container to really get the peanut butter to go in. Next, I go in with a little splash of vanilla extract just to give a little extra flavor. Then add a splash of milk. I feel like I add around 1/3 cup of milk. I would start with less milk. You can always add more if you need. Lastly, I drizzled some honey just to make my blend a little bit sweeter. I used the smoothie setting on my blender to blend this mix, and then I use the pulse button to really make sure that all the chunks are blended through. I dump the blend in my bowl, and then I take a spoon just to smooth it out for aesthetic purposes and give a nice flat bowl that I can put toppings on. For the toppings on this bowl, I used strawberries. First, I sliced the strawberry tops off. Then I used an egg slicer to slice the strawberries into even little slices, and then I placed them around the bowl. I put the strawberries around the bowl and tried to frame the outside of the bowl just to make it as cute as possible. Then I went in with raspberries around the inner circle. I sprinkled some granola in the middle, and then added agave drizzle across the top of my whole bowl. Then I sprinkled in some cacao nibs. Here's the final result. It was looking delicious and pretty. I did a taste test for you guys. Absolutely delicious. My second recipe is a tropical dragon fruit bowl. Again, just pause and screenshot the video if you want to save this recipe to your camera roll. I started off by pouring a few dragon fruit chunks in my smoothie cup. A lot of times I just eyeball it. Then I went in with the mixed fruit blend. I honestly just dumped in everything in this blend. So it had strawberries, peaches, mango, and pineapple. Then I gave my yogurt a stir and added a spoonful. Then I added 2 spoonfuls of hemp seeds into my smoothie. I went in with my trusty vanilla extract just to give it a little extra sweet. For the liquid, I used orange juice to make the bowl more tart. I would start with less liquid and then just add more if your mixture isn't blending well enough. I had to stop when it was blending, give it a little shake, and then keep going to really blend it smooth and make sure all the chunks were out. When I was done blending, I did my trick of lining the bottom of the bowl with granola and then drizzling with agave nectar over the top. This is going to give my bowl some sweetness and some crunch even at the bottom. Then I pour my blend into the bowl. I use my spoon once again to smooth everything out and just make it look pretty. To frame this bowl, I used mango chunks. They were pre-sliced and I just sliced them in half even more. Then I went in with an inner circle of raspberries just to give it a nice look. I sprinkled 2 spoonfuls of chia seeds in the center and then I sprinkled some granola on top. I once again went in with my agave drizzle. Here's how the bowl turned out. I think this one is the cutest bowl that I made. You can see me try this bowl outside right in front of the beautiful apple blossoms. The bowl was very delicious and quite possibly the prettiest and my favorite. My last recipe is a strawberry banana bowl. You're definitely going to want to pause and screenshot this recipe. Like my other recipes, I'm starting off with my frozen fruit. I add some strawberries and then I add frozen bananas. Then I sprinkle in some oats. I love the texture that the oats bring to the blend. Then I add my secret little splash of vanilla extract, followed by 2 scoops of Greek yogurt. Then I come in with my peanut butter. For this recipe, I add a big glob and then I add a splash of milk. Remember, you can always add more milk later if things are not blending correctly. I always start with less milk and then I just add more if I'm finding that the fruit is not blending up. I have to take the blender off, give it a little shake, hit the pulse button, make sure it's really all blended up. As you can see, it's this pretty pastel pink color. I'm going in with the peanut butter granola from Trader Joe's and I'm just breaking the big chunks up. And I'm going to drizzle it with agave nectar. That's really going to give me some extra granola and extra crunch at the bottom. Now I'm pouring in my smoothie blend and then I'll go in with my spoon again and smooth it out for aesthetic purposes. It is beautiful and smoothed out, so I'm taking some fresh blueberries and just kind of throwing them on one side of my bowl. Next, I'm slicing a banana and lining it up on the other side of the bowl. Now I take my spoon and sprinkle some chia seeds, and then I topped this with raspberries. It's kind of giving a red, white, and blue vibe. I go in with my agave drizzle on the top once again, and then sprinkle with cacao nibs. This bowl looks good and ready to eat. A secret fact is that my dog actually jumped up on the counter and started eating this bowl, so I had to remake the entire thing. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching these recipes. I hope that you are able to try them for yourselves. If you do try any of these recipes and you like them, definitely let me know. I would love to see how your smoothie bowls turn out and hear how you enjoy them. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so that you don't miss whenever I post a video. Happy summer. I'm so excited for the summer. I hope that if you're in school, you're wrapping things up smoothly and that you're ready for summer soon. I hope you guys enjoy your day. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.